One of the biggest announcements in recent Premier League history has just happened. Arsene Wenger is set to leave Arsenal at the end of this season. He's been there for 22 years, won 3 Premier League titles and 7 FA Cups. This really is massive news. Over recent times in football, I think we could all safely say he has been one of the most perplexing football figures in terms of fans. People either have stuck by him or they've wanted him out. It's going to be very strange not seeing Wenger at Arsenal. 22 years, guys. I mean, my God, that is so long. No matter what you may think, though, Arsene Wenger has had one hell of a career at Arsenal. And obviously, over the past, few seasons especially, Arsenal have not looked the same side like they once were. They've missed out on Champions League. They're going to miss out again this season. And it's felt almost like Arsenal have come to a bit of a standstill with Wenger. That being said, though, Wenger was the manager to bring Nicolas Anelka, Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira to Arsenal and make them so great at that time. And I can never forget those amazing Super Sundays where Arsenal played Man United and that rivalry was just ridiculous. I do miss those days where it seemed like those kind of rivalries were bigger than the ones we have right now. Even as a Liverpool fan, I can say I've respected Wenger for his achievements. But it is a very interesting debate as to whether Wenger should have gone a few years ago, should he have stayed until now. For me, as an outsider, as a Liverpool fan, I think he should have left after the FA Cup win, which I think a lot of you guys may agree with that. He could have left beating Arsenal's big rivals Chelsea, winning a trophy, the FA Cup. That would have been perfect for Wenger. Yet because he's so stubborn and he loves Arsenal, obviously, he decided to stay, and they've had a pretty not very good season for Arsenal in the Premier League. Their away form has been really off. One massive turning point that I think definitely changed Arsenal in terms of their grit or something definitely changed when they moved to the Emirates Stadium. I think that was in 2006, or 12 years back now. And they didn't finish second again until I think the 15-16 season where Leicester won the Premier League. And yes, they still got top 4, but I've always got the impression that some Arsenal fans, I know, they love obviously they're getting the Champions League every season, but when they've had 9 or 10 or more straight seasons of reaching the Champions League top 4 in the Premier League, and they haven't really done much with it, I get that frustration. At the same time, though, I mean, other clubs in the Premier League would kill for that, so it's a bit of a different one, but still, I get why they could be frustrated. Also, their transfers have always been a bit strange. They finally spent some cash out towards the end of Wenger's reign, with obviously Aubameyang, Lacazette, you've got Sanchez, Ozil as well, but when you compare it back to Wenger's early days, those teams just don't compare to the likes of obviously Thierry Henry, Vieira, those kind of players. That Arsenal Invincible team, I think it was 03-04, was just phenomenal. What do you think, though, about Wenger leaving? Do you think he could have stayed longer? Do you think it's time for him to go? Should he have been sacked a few years ago? If you're an Arsenal fan, I really want to get your thoughts as to what your thoughts are on Wenger's reign at Arsenal. I feel like personally, from an outsider's point of view, I recognise all of his amazing achievements, and the one thing that's missing, I guess, is obviously Champions League. They got to the final in 06 against Barca, where they lost. I think Eto'o scored the winning goal for that one. And since then, they haven't really done nowhere near as well in the Champions League. But I think, other than that, I mean, he's won so many trophies. Will go down probably no matter what as one of the best ever Premier League managers. And I think definitely revolutionary. If you look back to when he joined, he was so revolutionary. Gotta love it when he get a delivery mid doing a video. I feel like with Wenger, it's a very double-edged sword. We recognise how great his achievements are, especially with the Premier League early on. But at the same time, there was a lot of questionable decisions, and I don't know. It's a very weird one. It's different to obviously when Sir Alex Ferguson left United. He went out on a high, won the Premier League. Whereas Wenger, to be fair, still has the chance of winning the Europa League. And for Arsenal fans, I think it would be a perfect send-off. I think he'd have so much more admiration if he can win the Europa League, which would be a big achievement for Arsenal right now. Also, I want to see what happens with Arsenal Fan TV. So much around that channel, and I really do like watching their videos, by the way. Honestly, some Troops and DT, they really do make me laugh a hell of a lot watching them, man. They're very funny guys on their channel. What do you think that whole new genre of content will be like without Wenger? A lot of their videos were obviously down to the fact that Wenger was a manager, Arsenal constantly being bad away from home and losing games. Whenever they lose, they do get more views. It's interesting. I still think they'll be fine, reacting to Arsenal games, which is interesting without Wenger in the new season. Anyway, what are your thoughts about Arsene Wenger and him leaving at the end of the season? Comment down below, leave a like. I like doing these kind of reaction videos. They're very good fun to make, and it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be weird without Wenger.